Leicester 3, Palace 0. I'm joined by Pat here. Pat, once again, no goal scored by Palace, 3-0 defeat. It was unacceptable. Even though Leicester are third, they've been in poor form since the restart. Jamie Vardy struggled. But today, from Palace, there was nothing going forward. And defensively, poor goals to concede.
Yeah, very disappointing again. Just to see really no threats either. I mean, yeah, we didn't score a goal again, and that's frustrating. But there wasn't even really many opportunities. The one opportunity I can really think of was when we were already down 2-0 and Townsend had that one into Wilf, and he just kind of skied it over the keeper at the end there. But other than that, we just looked, toothless. And I know that's a term we use a lot with Palace, unfortunately, but I think it fits this match.
What do you think it was then? You mentioned there wasn't lots of opportunities. Benteke actually came back into the side, and lots of people were looking forward to that because he's not going to score goals, but his hold-up play has proved crucial for Palace as of recent. So going forward, as you said, we had nothing. Is that down to tactics? Wilfred Zaha, once again, I don't know what you thought of his performance. He didn't seem like he had the greatest of games. I don't know what's going on with him. If he's not fit, why is he starting for Palace? And if he is, then what's going on? What did you think it was that just didn't click going forward?
I think Wilf's kind of earned the benefit of the doubt for us that his heart should be with Palace. And that being said, if he's not hurt, then his heart's not in it. And I'd like to say that he's probably still hurt because, like I said, he's done so much for us. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he just hasn't looked like himself since he's come back. And I don't know, like it almost looks like the old joke with Tony Pulis' squad. If once you hit 40 points, the season's over. Like they just don't look like we hit that 40 points mark when we played Bournemouth, and it just doesn't look like there's any passion anymore. Like they're not trying to do anything. And I don't know what it is, but it's frustrating to watch as a supporter.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Before the restart started, began, once again, football started. Patrick Van Aanholt and the likes were talking on Twitter saying European football and all that. But then, of course, once football starts, it's a different case. But let's now talk about the goals. So the first goal, we talked about Vicente last week and his mistake then. It just seems like he's been training with Hennessy a lot. I don't have any other explanation. He done a little shuffle. He missed the ball. And of course, he can make mistakes. He's only human. But it was so unexpected from Palace. I didn't really see that one coming from Vicente. What's going on wrong with him? That was poor.
It was. The guy's done so much for us this season and last season that sometimes I think it's like the opposite of the Hennessy scenario, where maybe Hennessy sometimes it's not his fault, but we like to pile it on him because he's just done so many things in the past. Where with Guaita, sometimes he's done so many great things that it's like, oh, well, maybe it was miscommunication with the defense. But I mean, yeah, that's 2 matches in a row where he's made a pretty poor mistake. And unfortunately, I predicted that one because now we've been talking about getting Iheanacho. It's a big transfer rumor. So I predicted to my cousins and my friends. I said, yeah, he's pretty much a guarantee he's going to score against us, isn't he?
Yeah. So what next with Vicente? Do you still think he should stay in the lineup? Or do you think that there should be a change of goalkeepers? Because if this was Hennessy, as you said, he wouldn't get away with this. Everyone would be on him. And we saw that against the Liverpool game. But now Vicente has done this twice. And I know that he's had some great performances this season. But I guess you send the wrong message if you keep playing him and he keeps doing mistakes. How do you think that Roy should approach this? Do you think he should be dropped, or do you think because he's the best goalkeeper and he's played very good before the coronavirus pandemic that he should just continue playing?
Yeah, I think it's a tough decision because you have to show that you can't keep your job if you're going to keep playing like this. But unfortunately, the drop-off between first choice and second choice is so drastic that it kind of begins to create a conundrum for you of, well, we put Hennessy in there, and is Hennessy on his best day still any better than Guaita on a mediocre day, So it becomes this kind of question you have to ask yourself. I personally would give him another run just because we've seen what Wayne has done in the past, and I know to me at this point, it's a fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me thing with him. So I think I'd give Vicente another one. I know he's had 2 Meyers back-to-back, but let's hope the third time's a charm. You could have a good match.
So let's now talk about the second goal. Mamadou Sakho, he's been linked with a move away from the club. He's always had this in his locker. He's not the most comfortable centre-back, I would say. I mean, his passing, it's weird because he's a good passer on the ball, but then at times he does some very questionable things. I don't know what he was doing there. What did you think about his game and his future at Palace? Lots of people are saying, sell Sakho, he's not justifying his wages. I don't know if you're on the same page as them, or do you think before the goal he had a good performance and that we're looking too much into the one mistake that he had?
If he hasn't done things like this in the past, I would almost say that he's trying not to get himself sold by lowering his value to the point where it's not worth giving him a sale. He just, it is like you said. He does this, and sometimes it works out, and sometimes we pay for it massively. And we paid for it massively today. I mean, I'm going back to I think 2 seasons ago when he had a back heel in our own penalty box against either like West Ham or Bournemouth. We got away with that one. He's due for a Cruyff turn every now and then in his own half, his own third. So he does these types of things, and then he comes up with these beautiful passes sometimes that gives us goals. So it's almost like you have to take the great with the kind of ridiculous. And unfortunately, this is one of those matches where it was the ridiculous. And in terms of selling him, I love him as a player. I think he's a great leader, but he's just one of the guys that really has money and value on the transfer market. So just for that reason, I would say sell him, not because I really dislike him as a player, but he is getting older. He's injury prone. I think we get some value out of him.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the substitutes. Kouyaté comes on for Jairo Riedewald, and also James McCarthy comes on for MacArthur, and we're losing a game. What did you think of them substitutes? We saw Pierrick coming against Liverpool. Roy was talking about he should be handed a bottle of wine for letting him even play on the pitch. It wasn't positive substitutions. I don't really understand it. If we were 1-0 up, then maybe you might want to bring these type of players on, but we're 1-0 down. It makes no sense to me. Why would you bring them on?
Yeah, maybe he expects some cheese from Tyrick Mitchell to go with that bottle of wine now for putting him on for the last 8 minutes. I don't know. But, yeah, it's defensive mid for defensive mid, and then defensive mid for defensive mid. We did that twice. We bring on McCarthy for MacArthur, who are borderline the same player. And then you bring on Kouyaté for Riedewald, who one is just a little bit more, limbs and elbows than the other one. And really you offer nothing going forward. And I haven't listened to anything post-match yet, but I know Roy likes to say, we don't have many attacking options. Well, it's like you have Andros, you have Meyer, you have Pierrick. Give those guys a run, see what happens. Like we can – you never know what's going to happen when in a late game, especially when you're only down 1-0. You just need a goal to get some confidence back in. You take a point, and then you can go for the win. So just back to the same old stuff. It doesn't look like we have that plan B when things go wrong. We're just trying to sit back and hope for a goal on a run on.
Yeah. So finally, as always, if you do have one player to pick as your man of the match after a 3-0 defeat away from home, who would it be?
I knew you were going to ask this, and I've been really racking my brain in a bad way. Probably Gary Cahill, just from sheer process of elimination. He has the passion out there. He got his head on the ball a few times on some corners. Didn't really have too many merits defensively. So I think just being a consummate professional that he is, he keeps showing up and playing hard and giving the passion despite his age, and his experience level just really shows. So I'll give it to him.
Fair enough, Gary Cahill it is. So thank you for joining me, Pat. And as always, make sure to leave down the comments down below, as we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, up the Palace.